Madison Square Garden has a great heritage of hosting great college basketball tournaments and games, as Al said, over the last 79 years. A heritage that we're proud of and a heritage that will continue for as long as college basketball is played.
You know, I grew up in Harlem, New York, and throughout my childhood years, I always dreamed of playing at Madison Square Garden. That's the main reason I went to New York University, because it was a great academic institution, they had a great alumni, and they played their home games in Madison Square Garden, which meant I played at least 12 games a year, every year here. I forgot the NIT year. I played 1959. We lost Bradley in the semis by 1 point, but I was the leading scorer in the NIT. I had 81 points. 4 guys had 80.
Welcome back to the Garden, Pearl.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. First, I want to say I'm very honored to be among these men's. Oscar Robertson, you are the best, buddy. You really are. And I know I've seen you several times, but I really never got a chance to say to you. And for you to say you didn't know how many points you had in the game, unbelievable. But you do a great job. You've done a good job, I should say. Coach, you always do a good job.
Pearl, tell us what you think you helped build here as college basketball comes back to the Garden.
Well, to me, Madison Square Garden is the mecca of basketball. It really is. If you don't play in Madison Square Garden, you ain't playing the place. I mean, this place here was great for me. And John Thompson is not here, is he?
Not that I know of.
Okay. My best, greatest memory was punching Patrick Ewing in his side. When it looked like he fell, but he didn't fall. But that was my greatest moment, along with playing at the Carrier Dome too also. But I always came to Madison Square Garden and put on a show, and that's really what it was about, making people happy to see me play, and Syracuse play too also. For me, I never planned on leaving after 3 years or 2 years. I wasn't going to stay in school for all 4 years. But somehow it was a deal made where I was going to go to New Jersey Nets, and it was home for me, and I took that. So I asked, and I didn't know that Derek Coleman was coming to Syracuse. So I asked Derek, how come you never called me and told me that you was coming to Syracuse? He said, Pearl, when I came to the school, you was never around. Okay, Derek, thank you. Because I would have stayed in school.
Really?
Of course I would have stayed in school. My plans was to leave after my junior year. My plans was to stay in school and possibly have one more year to get to a championship in NCAA.
I was sitting here trying to recall when we first came to New York City. I think toll through the Midtown Tunnel was 50 cents.
That's a long time ago.
And we got in a cab with I don't know who this driver was, but he drove so fast, I thought he was going to kill us. Coming to the guy, we stayed at the Manhattan Hotel on 42nd and 8th Avenue. Walked up to the Madison Square Garden. First time I went inside, it's really interesting because like you take a ball when you start to play and you go out on the court and dribble. Dribble down, the ball never came back up. So what? Some of them came back up and some of them didn't. So I realized that I had to dribble the ball a lot harder than I would have when I played in other gymnasiums and whatnot. And they had guide wires on the baskets. And if you were playing well and the guy didn't like it, he shook the guide wires. So it was interesting for me because unlike Cal, I didn't know I had 56 points myself. I mean, I didn't think I was scoring. Yeah, he will. I mean, really, when you're playing hard, you don't realize what's going on the game. And at the end of the game, the guys came on and said, you got 50-something points. I mean, I thought they meant the game, to be honest. You don't really do that, really. You're just trying to play the game. That's the way I learned to play basketball. If I'm inside, I play like a forward or a center. If I'm outside, I play like a guard. You know, I think that what's going on today with assists, turnovers to assists, whatnot, is overrated. It's who wins the game. That's what it's all about. I mean, you might have 30 assists against Sisters of the Poor. When you get in those big games, when it really counts, you might get 6 or 7, which means everything for the game. So I think it's a real thing. They didn't keep the assists, turnovers, or triple doubles when I played at all. So it must not meant very much to them either, because I really didn't know I was doing it, to be honest. I thought everyone was playing the same way.
Out, no one played quite the way you did. Just to clarify, we weren't playing. No one else here. Well, possibly Cal, I don't know, but and maybe Pearl. but very few guys played like you. I want to, just so you know. Okay, I came here as Art did back in the NIT days. We could see games the whole time through. And he's right about the smoke. You had to sit down lower, not necessarily see the game, but to see through. Story, and I saw one of great games here. Digger Phelps coaching against Dean Smith, North Carolina versus Notre Dame. Incredible day. I still remember because I always thought, unlike Art said, as a Bostonian, that Boston Garden was pretty special. And it was, Holy Cross and some of the great teams up there in many years. But when I came here, when they used the word the Mecca of college basketball, this was it. This has been it, and it will be it. It's an incredible, incredible place. And from a coaching standpoint, the first time, 1988, we came here, and I came to Connecticut, and the school was not doing particularly well in basketball. I had joined the Big East and had to catch up with the Syracuse, the St. John's, and all the great schools and great programs. And we beat BC, and then turned around and beat Ohio State for the United title. In Connecticut in 1988, they had parades. We came back. It was unbelievable. 2 years later, we got here and we beat Syracuse and St. John's on Syracuse and Georgetown on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday to win the Big East. And since that time, we've had incredible memories. I think I coached, and I'm Cal, not very good with numbers as Oscar isn't, but 60, 70 games here and won some championships here. I'm very glad about that. But, the Allen Iverson versus Ray Allen game, one of the great games I've ever coached in. Certainly the 6 overtime game was okay. It was a great game with not such a good ending. Everybody always said, "You seemed upset you lost." I'm like, Oscar, I thought you played to win. It was a historic moment. In retrospect, it was wonderful. An hour after that game, I wasn't using the word wonderful very much, as you can well imagine. And so many great moments. And my next last year coaching, 2011, we had a pretty good run here, 5 games, 5 days, with the incomparable Kemba Walker and the Miracles. It was just an incredible, incredible deal. And I think anybody who's ever played the game of basketball saw something in the great joy that team played with. The joy of basketball. They didn't worry. Everybody said, "You're tired." We weren't being tired. We wanted to play. And we didn't think about numbers. All we thought about was winning. And to this place, I still remember John Condon. Is that the name of the great announcer? Time out, time out. And there was magic in this building. There's magic. Even though I don't seem it, I'm a romantic. Romantic about the game, romantic about novels, romantic about movies and plays, and I love it. This is romantic. Madison Square Garden in basketball is a great romance. And and stories being told all the time. I'll never ever forget it. It's one of the most incredible things of my life. This is a place that needs college basketball. College basketball needs the Garden. And my memories are too many, and I know I'm going long, but I love this place, and I think we're going to have an incredible weekend, especially if those Huskies go on to Dallas.
The things that I remember about the old Garden, number one, the smoke. The smoke was incredible. And I used to go there to watch NIT games too, and we'd go there the whole day and watch, and you had to look through the cloud of smoke at the top of the arena because in those days you could smoke. Then the infamous bank of telephones out in the areas where the concession stands, and the telephones were normally filled just before game time. And then the funny thing at the end of our game, one of our guys on our team had gotten dumped on his head and got a concussion, and we all went to see him at the end of the game in the hospital. And who was in the bed next to him but the goalie for the Rangers, a guy named Gump Worsley. And at that time, they weren't wearing masks or anything like that. He had no teeth, and he had just gotten hit with a puck in the face again. So the captain of our team and Gump Worsley roomed together for the night. But the old Garden was a special place for people, especially who played basketball in the East at that time. There were really 2 arenas of any note on the East Coast. One was in Philadelphia, the old Palestra, which still exists, and then the Garden, of course, which was the capital and, quite frankly, is still the capital of basketball. So it was great times. It was a great experience to have him played in the NCAA tournament there. And needless to say, I think all of us are happy that the NCAA tournament is back in New York at Madison Square Garden. So.
Well, I grew up in Dominican Republic. I got here when I was 14. And there was 2 places that I was able to recognize when I moved to the United States, and that was the Lakers arena where they play, the Fordham, the old Fordham, because I used to love the Lakers, the 94, 84, 85 Lakers, in the Garden. So when I came here, I had the choices to go to pretty much any university, and knowing that St. John's play at the Garden, I wanted to make sure that I was part of that history. Everybody work at a craft. You work at your craft to be the best. And when you work to be the best, you want to play at the best places. The Garden is the best place for everyone. If you are a writer, you want to write at the Garden. If you're a basketball player, you want to play at the Garden. If you're a referee, you want to have an opportunity to referee at the Garden, because it is that much of a memorable history for your own self-pleasure.